Welcome to another podcast of the current situation. Manchester United. Manchester United beat Reading at home 3-1. I didn't watch the game. I didn't even know Manchester United had a game today. No, I knew they had a game this weekend, but regardless if they had a game this weekend or not, I was not in the best of spirits to be doing a video, which is why I didn't do a preview to this video. Along with the fact that I didn't know that Manchester United was going to play like this week at all. So here we are today. Manchester United beat Reading 3-1. Saw the highlights. I'll say this, man, and I've said this before. Regardless of the intent that Casemiro joined Manchester United, it has already been shown that he's a world-class signing. When was the last time Manchester United has said that they have had a world-class signing? That he's proven himself since he signed for Manchester United. Now we have had a few players that signed for Manchester United and they caught the eye, they caught a glare and say, alright, boom, he's going on, he's doing him thing. Let's see if he'll continue consistently. Mr. Consistent is Mr. Casemiro. It's me. This is a colossal signing, man. I think that needs to be the man's middle name or so. He's like he's our best signing of this season. This is the best. I'll say this. I've said this before, and let me make something clear. This may be quite a lengthy video. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to mislead you because there's a few things I need to get off my chest. Along with the fact that I need to talk about Antony. This brethren is I want to talk about this brethren. There's a few news relating to this performance against Reading I want to discuss based on the breaking news. So basically I said in the summer that we needed 3 world-class midfielders. We got that in Casemiro, of course, and a very good signing, a very good player as a midfielder, Christian Eriksen. Of course, we're still linked with De Jong, but we knew that De Jong was going to sign for Manchester United. My man was trying to play with our heads. But we have already set the standard because Matic is gone. Matic is gone, and we needed a center defensive midfielder. Not that one can just replace Matic, but he's like an all-rounder. Casemiro, man, this bridging is not just a clean up the dirt type of defensive midfielder. He can shoot, he can ping a pass, he has flair to him, and he can defend, of course. He has the aggression, and he knows when to pass. So he has all that in one. He's not the slowest, he's not the fastest defensive midfielder, but he ain't slow. So that is one jump pack center defensive midfielder right there, sir. That's one jump, along with Fred playing alongside him. Fred had a good game today. Casemiro got 2 goals today. One dink, kill the keeper. I think the ball was from Antony with the assist. I'm coming to Antony, know yourself. Then he played to Casemiro. Casemiro get the dink as of the assist. Then he get a second goal, which was a long-range goal. I don't think that goal should have scored, but he scored anyway. Poor goalkeeping, but we took the goal anyway. 3-0, good Fred touch. Hold on. Yeah, Fred scored the 3rd goal. Yeah, the flick with his right foot. I don't know if it's because Antony got the assist for Casemiro, one of Casemiro's goal, and Casemiro got 2 of them goals. And both of them is Brazilian, so my man wanted to show that he's Brazilian too. So he go get the goal, he do the flick, beat the goalkeeper at the near post and boof with the goal. Like I said, I didn't watch the game, but I watched the highlights, and we're on a roll, Manchester United, but we shouldn't get ahead of ourselves, of course. This is just the groundbreaking moment of our genuine, true progress. This is Erik ten Hag's first season. We're in sights of winning at least 3 trophies. The Carabao Cup, we're in the semi-final. We're basically in the finals. We're leading in the first leg. We're going into the second leg with a 3-0 victory, I believe. I think it's against Wolves or something. I can't remember. Or it's a 1-0 victory. I can't remember. But anyway, yeah, we're in a good spot in the Carabao Cup. we're looking to at least get Champions League qualifications. That could be through the Premier League getting top three spot. But we also would like to go for the Euro League. Despite there are some tough opponents in Euro League, so we can actually go for it if you believe in FA Cup. We're still in the books of the FA Cup. The FA Cup is always something to win, even when you're not having the best seasons. You have man like last season talking about Liverpool could have won 4 trophies and they won 2. Carabao Cup and FA Cup. And I want to say that was a world class season. That's not really a world class season, although it got to the Champions League final, but that's still not a world class season. Just not. It's just not. So with that being said, it was a very good performance, and it just goes to show that we have been making progress ever since. This is what Manchester United has yearned for years, ever since Sir Alex Ferguson. And even when we knew that, even when Sir Alex Ferguson retired, we knew that we wouldn't be this bad, but we knew that we would have fallen off a bit. Isn't it? Because it takes time for a manager to adapt to his new environment. So just because we're linked to like Jose Mourinho in 2013 and a few other managers in 2013, don't mean that we would have made immediate progress then. But ever since then, things have not been. I mean, we have been on and off. It's been iffy, like 55-45, isn't me? 35-65, that type of thing. Well, I think 65 is more in favor of negativity, but it's not here. It's not like black and white. Is me, but the thing is that we're making progress with this new manager, Eric Ten Hag. Some person think that I call him the Walter White of football, isn't me? Some persons call him Heisenberg, but he's just a beast of a manager. He's showing what he's capable of doing. That is what we Manchester United fans have been crying out for, mourning for years, and we are getting it right now. That we are making progress. We're making progress. It's been evidently made clear, and we can see it. Good performance on Manchester United. Ooh, look at that. Man, my phone just fell off. I guess it doesn't like what I'm saying, but you're not a Red fan, aren't you? Are you? But yeah, man. Let's set the precedence for Antony, right? I've said this last week. I wanted to address this week. And I'm going to address it this week and today Saturday, the last day of this week. A lot of fans have wishy-washy thoughts on Antony and him signing for Manchester United. A lot of persons are saying that this brethren, this 5'4" brethren from Brazil is in the toy box category of like Memphis Depay and young guys that have failed at Manchester United. I said this, dude. I've said it before. I'm going to say it again. Antony can come good for Manchester United, but here's the caveat. And I read something that caught my attention. Hold on, before I get into that. Hold on. There's a news that I wanted to. Roy Keane, my man to have his and the performance. It drives me crazy. It drives me nuts. Roy Keane fumes at Manchester United's Tyrell Malacia. At least I got it right. I'm usually calling him La Masia, the Barcelona Youth Academy. I always get this twist up with them type of words. But Roy Keane basically was saying that he couldn't believe the despicable, the deplorable, this disastrous performance of Tyrell Malacia. And he says it's driving him nuts. I didn't watch the game, but the guy is a young guy, man. He's going to adapt, man. I don't see why this. I don't even think he's getting much games, seeing that Luke Shaw is back into the fold of starting games. So I don't see where this heat, this admonishment, this criticism, this whatever is being laid on the shoulders of this young brethren. He's not playing much games, man. If he was a continual starter, like a consistent starter, and he's putting in performance like this, I'll give you the green passes. You could call him all the names in the book. I'll give you that. But he's not a starter much. He's not a starter much. So, because he's not a starter much, this criticism that you're living against this brethren, man, it's not called for. It's not called for. Listen me. Yes, I'm pretty sure you had a stinker because I saw the ratings and you know the mirror. Well, you have to take the mirror's rating with a pinch of salt, but it didn't look good. I ain't going to even say the number, but it did not look good. But that don't mean that you should criticize him like that. Again, he doesn't play much games, and when you don't play much games, you're going to be a bit rusty, especially if you're not in full-fledged form like that. So I don't see, Roy Keane, that's not called for. That's my opinion. That is not called for. Again, you had your say, I'm gonna give you my say, because when you say your say, you're opening the door for others to have their say on what you're saying, because you're putting it out in the public. That's my say. This is not called for. Now, with that being said, speaking of things not called for, Antony, Antony thought he was gonna get away with it, huh? No, not tonight. But Antony, this brethren that plays for Manchester United, a lot of persons, particularly Manchester United supporters, are not. I wouldn't say a lot. I wouldn't say most of them, but there's a good amount of fans of Manchester United that are not. They're not trusting of Antony. They don't believe he's gonna come good for Manchester United. Yup. Some of you guys talking as if this brethren has been at Manchester United for 2 seasons. This is his first season. Isn't me? And the thing about it is that it's not that let me get something straight. He's not a bad player by any stretch. He's not a bad player. If you say that he's a bad player, you're lying to yourself. You know that he's not a bad player. So get that hatred out of your system. It's going to kill him more than cancer. Antony is a good player. The fact is that he is not used to the environment, the weather. Yes, I'm putting the weather because he's from Brazil. And this is not an excuse. But we have seen in the past where Brazilians have come to the Premier League and they have not had the best of careers here. Here as if I'm in England. My brother is in Canada. Canada ain't in the Premier League. The Premier League isn't in Canada. It's going to take him some time. This is why I'm not so fond of Brazilians coming to the Premier League, man. Some Brazilians, they made the cut. They went through the crux of the gruesome, the aggressive, the competitive nature of the Premier League, and they adopted and still they still became good. Like Gilberto Silva from Arsenal back in the mid 2000s and to late 2000s. Another Brazilian that came. I'm not talking about goalkeepers, so take out Edison and Alisson. They're not. I'm talking about outfield players. Robinho was doing his thing for a decent bit, but it wasn't so consistent, man. It wasn't consistent. He had his ups and downs. Cleberson signed for Manchester United, but this bridging was a flop, man. I wasn't even around watching this bridging for Manchester United, but that don't mean that I don't know this bridging was a flop. Well, I knew he was a flop. If he wasn't a flop, he came good for Manchester United, people would be talking about his time at Manchester United way more than they actually do right now. He didn't come good. So the point is that I'm not saying that Antony has to continue this trend of failed Brazilian signings to the Premier League, where they're going to offshoot to somewhere else and make a name for themselves, or continue to make a name for themselves, because when they came to the Premier League, things were on a pause, things were called on a halt, they were not performing, so they went to a different plane or a different train, to a different league, and they made more of a name for themselves. If that was the case, then the problem is this. Well, speaking of Brazilians, Casemiro is doing his thing right now. Casemiro is different gravy. Casemiro is not cut from the same cloth as most of these Brazilians joining the Premier League. This dude is different. Because when you're world class elsewhere. And Casemiro is showing that. He's been a world class signing. So back to this Anthony, I'll say this, and this is not a strong full opinion of mine because I'm very observant. One thing I've criticized a lot of Brazilians, and if you have been watching up until this point, like and subscribe to the channel. If you want to leave your comments down below, go ahead and do so. If you have something that's opposing to what I'm saying, comments down below, man. I want to hear what you guys are saying. This is what I have to say on Antony and other Brazilians. And this is not me picking on Antony. This have been happening since I would say probably 2006, ever since to up to now. One department when it comes down to being a Brazilian footballer that's been questioned is their mentality. I question a lot of Brazilian top tier players' mentality. There's not too many top tier Brazilians that have a top tier mentality that are still at a level where they can perform in any league. Casemiro played with some of the best midfielders, so like he's like this brethren has been sorted out even as a young age, as a pup when he was at Real Madrid, and he came back to Real Madrid. I think he was on loan or something back to Real Madrid in 2013. So with players like Modric, Kroos, Khedira, or whoever was with him at the time have helped him up to be a better player. And him winning trophies after trophies after trophies has cemented him as a top tier player. So his mentality is like ironclad. Is what I say. So when he came to the Premier League, Casemiro, he's been on the ball. He's been very consistent. Mr. Consistent. Mr. Colossal. But this is the thing with Brazilians, and I don't want to be long-winded on this. Their mentality has been called into question many times, and ever since the 2006 World Cup up until this day, their mentality has been questioned. Their longevity as a footballer has been questioned. It's me. Rivaldo, not Rival, because that's a lie. Rivaldo is not a party boy like Ronaldo and Rivaldo. So let me make that clear. And Kaká is not a party boy. I think of players like Ronaldo. Yes, the great striker Ronaldo. Yes, the great Ronaldinho. I mean, Ronaldinho was good for world class for 3 years, 04 to 06. Ever since 06 World Cup, my man has been on a down path, man. Like my man slip up, like he went on a banana peel and went down a hill or something. His form really dipped. He was no longer the undisputed king of Barcelona or football period. His demise was sure. His days as a world-class football player was numbered. Man, these notifications. Oh, everything on is a post-press conference. But yeah, Brazilians are not. They're not the best in comes down to mentality. And again, it's a strong full opinion. This is not a fact in any book. I'm just giving you my strong full opinion. That Brazilians don't have the strongest mentality. That's why when they come to the Premier League, they don't thrive, they don't strive, they don't set a name for themselves in the Premier League. I can't even recall. Hold on, I'm trying to recall the last Brazilian that actually made a name of himself in the Premier League. I mean, like I said, bro, Fernandinho, Fernandinho came good, but I'm talking more so attacking players. And Casemiro, Casemiro's a defensive midfielder, but it's not like he can only play defensive midfielder, he can play CM. This man is very world class in that category. But I'm trying to think the last Brazilian that actually did well in the Premier League. Costa he's from Brazil, but he represents Spain. So so when you play for Spain, you're in a different category. You're in a different culture, so you're going to be trained and game up different. I can't think of any on the top of my head, but I'll say this one. Antony is inconsistent, yes. I'm not going to say it's a only Brazilian thing because other players from other countries are inconsistent. So I'm not picking on Antony in any stretch. What I am saying is that it certifies and it validates the fact that that when Brazilians come, particularly attackers, come to the Premier League, they hoof out. They're not on the best of form. They're not good. They don't perform as they should. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that this is made or carved out in stone where his destiny or what is in front of him is set as a flop of Manchester. I'm not saying that he can make a change for himself, Manchester, Antony at Manchester United. What I'm saying is I'm talking about current affairs right now, his current form. I'd like to believe that he did decent today. Oh, Andy Carroll played for Reading. Imagine, I didn't know that. And funny enough, we have our own Andy Carroll, workhorse. But back to what I'm saying, I hope you guys are getting the point where I'm coming from, because I'm not the best at explaining stuff. So our brother is trying. At least give him some credit now. I'm trying to explain what I mean. What I'm saying is that I'm not saying number one, I made it clear that I'm not saying that Anthony is a bad player. He's not a bad player by any stretch. Man, these notifications, boy. Secondly, I'm not saying that his demise at Manchester United is sure, saying that he's going to be a flop. I'm not saying that. What I am saying that contributes to his inconsistent form right now is the weather. As shall as it sounds, is the weather. Yes, that's a part of it. Although it may not make any what you would call it now, any statement saying, oh, the weather is bothering my form. A lot of persons don't need to say something to actually say, it's bothering them. But I would like to think the weather, and even more so, excuse the weather for a moment, he has not adapted to the aggressiveness and the competitiveness of the Premier League. That is more so number two. Number three, he has not settled into this side, more so the system. Although he scored a few whippy goals, yes, he's my man has left a few defenders in the dirt and toes, is me. I've seen that. I think my man was on the right wing and he was trying to do his trickery. That's another thing. Let us go into that. I'm trying to I don't want this video to be long. I'm trying to explain my point as smoothly as I can so you guys can get it. And if you guys get it, then you know where I'm going with this. You know why a lot of Brazilian players, particularly the best Brazilian players, don't play in a system. Not that they don't play in a system. They play in a system, but they're given more of a free role. It's because of their expressive nature. I've said this before. Brazil is an expressive culture. They have to express themselves on the ball some way or another. You cannot, put a lid on how they play. They're going to look out of place. That's like a fish out of water. So they need to express themselves. The problem is that they don't have, I'm speaking as if I've done a research on Brazil and I'm saying they don't have this, they don't have that. My opinion is that they don't know when to put a lid on it. See, when you go to Spain, France or whatever, Brazilian players have the chance to express themselves whenever. Neymar at PSG, even when he was at Barcelona, he had a free role. He could do anything he want especially when he was under Luis Enrique for 2 seasons or 3. No, he was under Luis Enrique for 3 seasons. 3 seasons, and he was the best left winger on the planet then, along with Hazard and a few others. But you think if Neymar came to the Premier League, I'm not saying that Antony's Neymar, but here what I'm saying, because he's Brazilian. If Neymar came to the Premier League, even if he played for City, I think that he would have actually made the cut at Man City. Dude, this is not even the Premier League of 2009 or 2008, or even 2003 or 2004, when it was very robust, with defenders like Martin Keon or Sol Campbell or Stan Yap Stam and those guys. I'm not even talking about, and John Terry, I'm not even talking about that. And this is like our simmered down version of the Premier League back then. But even now the Premier League is still competitive. Neymar wouldn't have made the cut in the Premier League. Definitely not back in the day. Definitely not. But now Neymar would make the cut. My man would get kicked down. And apart from that, if like Pep Guardiola had him in a system, it wouldn't have worked. Neymar is not a systemary player. This Bridget needs is an individual. He's a free minder. He's a free spirit. He's a free spirited player, which adds to his expressive nature as a player and even as a Brazilian. You can't put a lid to this dude's how he plays, man. You just cannot. That's going to diminish the effectiveness of how he plays as a footballer. It just does. So what I'm saying is this, and again, I'm trying to explain this as best as I can. Based on history, Brazilians don't have the best, you know, they don't have the best record in the Premier League as a sign. They don't. They don't. They don't. Maybe they have, and I don't know about it. And if they do, link me to it. But from the top of my head right now, right here, so I can't think of any, man. Yes, Casemiro is making his name for himself in the Premier League right now. Things can change, God forbid, but things can change, and that's the realistic fact. Things can change for the Bridging. Again, God forbid. Long live his colossal form of Casemiro. But with Antony, persons have said that he's soft, passive, easily shoved off the ball, doing unnecessary skills. He's not a big dude. I'm not saying that big dudes have the best, ball control. Because even Messi, bro, when Messi has the ball, I'm talking about a prime, 2012, 2011 boss Messi. Even when he had the ball, and Messi was like 5'5", 5'6", or 5'7" at the time. Bigger bodies couldn't even shove this bridging off the ball. So it's not that body is a big thing. What I'm saying is that he needs to be more decisive when he's in position. He shouldn't be doing all this trickery. I'm not saying that he shouldn't do no trickery at all, because it's football and he's from Brazil. I know that Brazilians are going to do their thing anyway. But to actually moderate it, modify it, put a, if you want to call it lid, put a somewhat of a lid. Say, alright, boom, this is the system. This, man, I'm trying to not confuse myself. Because see, this is why that bridging, that sleepyhead bridging, I can't remember his name, Neres, that used to play with, that Eric Ten Hag used to manage at Ajax. You know why this bridging got sold? It's because, he has off-field antics, but not making the cake for Ajax, man. Not making the cake for Ajax, and he's not a bad footballer. Because he's not a system player. So Antony can actually come good, man. It's just that, well, I will say this right now. We should not be giving Antony any free role to do whatever. He needs to prove. He needs to do some dirty work first, isn't it? Because we don't want to make him a mercenary player. Like, oh, he's like God Almighty, and he has no defensive duties. He doesn't run back. He doesn't press. When you get the ball in position, he's the first man to go to. We don't want to be doing that. He needs to prove himself first, man. I would say Rashford is the only man in the side right now that needs to be given a free role, along with Casemiro slightly. And I say Casemiro because Casemiro can not only play defense midfield, he can also push up in the center midfield and even sometimes into the middle third if there's a long shot that needs to be taken off. Is me? So yes. But he needs to still be disciplined, Casemiro. Defense midfield, he needs to be disciplined. That comes with the territory of being a you need to be disciplined. Which is why we do not want Fred to be a defensive midfielder, because he doesn't have the discipline. You see me? He doesn't have that type of discipline. My man's going to slowly run up in a midfield and forget to trap back his man. So he's not for a defense midfielder position. What I'm saying with Antony is that his mentality has to sharpen up. Again, he needs to be better with the ball in possession. He needs to be more decisive. Because it's like my man get the ball, and sometimes I'm like that when I'm playing football, especially when I was younger. I get the ball on the right wing, and I don't even have a plan in my own book to fulfill on the football. I just want the ball to get at my feet. When I get the ball at my feet, I don't even know what to do with it. and then the defender come take me off, shove me, dispossess me of the ball. This is what the people's person rated Antony. They give him a 7.5 in the game today against Reading. This is the assessment of his game today. Didn't do much wrong, but it's what he doesn't do that is a problem. Think about that for a couple seconds. What he doesn't do is a problem. That's more of I think that's probably a defensive work ethic thing among other things. He is still reluctant to threaten the opposition defense by dribbling and crossing out the wing. His reverse ball to Casemiro, which is the assist, was sublime though. So we know that there's a player in Antony to show himself that he can actually make the cut for Manchester United. We need him to stop the trend where Casemiro is doing that anyway, but for him to continue the trend of Casemiro, because he's broken this unwavering curse, of Brazilians coming to the Premier League and just being a mess, being deplorable, not having the best of form, not having the ability to perform, and go to different leagues to perform. So Casemiro is setting that straight right now, and to follow him up with that is Antony. Antony can actually become good for Manchester United. That's my opinion. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but that's my opinion right now. And I own up to my opinion. If you have any say on the fate, the destiny, the future for Antony and Manchester United, if you think this Virgin is going to fail, comments down below. If you think this Virgin is if you're not sure of him, leave your comments down below. If you think this Virgin, like me, is going to do well for Manchester United continually, comments below, man. Leave your comments down below. So wrapping up, I'm saying that a lot of Brazilians, particular attackers, are not the best when it comes down to systems. Casemiro, of course, can play in a system whether or not. That's he's just that good. I guess it's one of the reasons why we're very wishy-washy on Fred, because we know that Fred is a good player. Let's not forget that he's a good player. He's a good player. The fact is that we haven't had a system that could benefit him fully, where he's starting games and performing. And right now he shouldn't even be starting, and that's nothing against him. But we have our best midfield three right now is Casemiro, Christian Eriksen, and Bruno Fernandes. It's me. I don't even know what's up with Danny Van de Beek. I haven't heard of this Virgin for months now. I don't even know this dude was still at Manchester United. But with Antony right now, he can actually make a name for himself. Sometimes he looks predictable, unconfident. Give the dude time, man. He's just a young Bridget, man. I don't even think this dude. Just give him time, man. If he doesn't make the cut for Manchester United, God forbid, of course, then we just have to lick our wounds and move on, because we spend big money on this Bridget. So he didn't come on cheap like a bag of chips to Manchester United. That's not how it goes. He didn't come to Manchester United on no bag of peanuts. So he needs to prove himself. He knows that he needs to prove himself. He knows that he's a talented player, but he needs to prove himself. Talent won't take. It's good to be talented, but you have to exude, prove that you're that talented player on the pitch. That's it. So yeah, man, that's all I wanted to say, man. Good performance for Manchester United today against Reading. I know I didn't explain the reason of Antony's wishy-washy form, but you guys get what I'm saying. I like to believe you guys get what I'm saying. Seriously, comments down below. I want to hear what you guys have to say, because I believe Antony can actually make the cut for Manchester United. Yeah. I might do Sancho next, whether he'll make the cut for Manchester United. Sancho's not been getting games, and it's been worrying me right now, but we'll have to see how things go. Comments down below. Share this video, like and subscribe. I'll show it to you guys in the next video podcast. I'm out.